Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. I'm here today with a potentially interesting question. Is Street Fighter 6 Season 3, where the game may or may not be starting to be labeled as Super Street Fighter 6, will that be coming a bit earlier than we all thought it may be? Because many people, myself included, just said, oh, probably sometime in May. Makes sense. Why? Well, that's kind of how it worked last time around, right? Last year, later in May, that's when Akuma launched, and with Akuma came the big patch for Season 2 of Street Fighter 6. And, okay, come out in May seems a reasonable enough timeline. Come out right before Combo Breaker, just like last time with Akuma. Akuma came out right before Combo Breaker, and, we start the next Pro Tour, all that kind of stuff. The train never stops. Capcom Cup, I don't want to scare you, but it's right around the corner. It runs May 5th through May 8th, and May 5th is only a week and change away. And here's the thing, I think there'll be some major announcements at Capcom Cup this year, unlike last year. Last year they just showed Ed, that was it. This year I'm sure they'll have an L and a showcase as well, but here's my reasoning. So Capcom Pro Tour 2025, right? We got the big list here. I showed Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker's not the first event. EVO Japan is the first event on the Capcom Pro Tour 2025. And naturally the next Pro Tour will be played on the next season. That's kind of the deal, right? And EVO Japan is being held near the start of May. So sort of precludes that Season 3 can't be later in May if the first stop on the Pro Tour is at the beginning of May. And they wouldn't have it just so, Season 3 launches the day before EVO Japan. That's not how that works. Like say for last year's Capcom Pro Tour, the season began with EVO of last year, like EVO Prime, if you will. And so, Season 2 is already out for a while at that point. So you'd think there'd be just a little bit of breathing room for, the next Pro Tour season to start and, Season 3 coming out. And thus, I don't think Season 3 is coming out in May. I think it's probably coming out in April. To add to this as well, for the Capcom Cup Finals, which is once again right around the corner, a couple weeks before last year's Capcom Cup final, Capcom made a very public statement saying, hey, there's no news, there's no reveals happening here. And here we are in the exact same time frame, and there is no such statement from Capcom. Of course, I could put it out like a day or two after I make this video, which makes me look stupid, but for now, there's no such statement from Capcom. Everyone expects the next season patch to drop when Elena drops in Street Fighter 6, as, once again, that's exactly what happened with Akuma. There's no reason to doubt it would be any other way. So at this point, for the Capcom Cup 11 happening in Japan very soon, a week and change from now, it's very likely that we'll get a proper Elena reveal trailer. And also on top of that, then we'll get a reveal or preview or perhaps just something, I don't know, we'll see, but a taste of what Season 3 might be. Because if Season 3 is happening either the very extreme early part of May or in April, we got to get the ball rolling and fast on that stuff. It's already the end of February right now, right? And it also goes to show that the schedule might not be the same as it was last year as well, right? This is another sign pointing towards that. Mai came out almost a full month before Ed did in comparison year over year. So if we're getting the next patch and next character a bit earlier in comparison last year, maybe there won't be such a extreme release gap or even lack thereof. As you'll recall, Bison and Akuma came out within a month of each other. So Akuma came out in May and Bison came out in June, right? And they both came out at the end of their respective months. And then, say, Elena, big patch, Season 3 beginner patch, if you will, happens. And then there could be a more healthy spacing between that and the first characters of Season 3. You still got to amp things up. We still got to go to Summer Game Fest, run the trailer, get everyone hyped, right? And also, real quick here, I should be attending Summer Game Fest again this year. So if you're in the industry and you want to schedule some appointments, hey, hit me up. After like 10 years, now that I finally made one not fighting game video and it didn't automatically bomb, I guess I'm open to covering more games if you're interested. But the reason why I say there might be a greater distance between the releases of Elena and whatever the first Season 3 character will be is not necessarily just in the hands of Street Fighter alone. There's outside forces at play here because, people don't think about it too much in these kind of terms, but Switch 2 is a thing. Switch 2 is coming out. It's coming out this year, speculated sometime in the summer. And Capcom would have to be absolutely pants on head stupid not to try to hit the Switch 2 as hard as possible. That's why you make Street Fighter 6 a Switch 2 launch title. That's why you rebrand Street Fighter 6 with a new, exciting, fancy title to help inflame the imagination. It's no doubt the Switch 2 is going to sell like hotcakes, right? And if you're there as a launch title for the new Switch, which would be a very, very, very big deal, you're going to move an absurd amount of units. And see, yeah, you think Switch 2, and now, you know, the gears are starting to move, right? Everything's starting to come together. And well, now actually putting it all together. So once again, Capcom Pro Tour season, the next season after this Capcom Cup, begins with EVO Japan. EVO Japan is in the beginning of May. You would think for competitive reasons, because the new Capcom Pro Tour has to be on the new season, that it would begin just a little bit before, at least, you know, to give people time to practice. You know, EVO Japan is kind of a big deal, right? I don't foresee them keeping the same balance as it is with the current season of the game, and them running on all new Pro Tour and then switching majorly between now and Combo Breaker, right? EVO Japan runs on one set of balance and Combo Breaker runs on the next one? I don't know. I don't buy that. There's the Master Phases as well to take into consideration. The new Master Phase begins on May 1st, which, you know, that would be a good time to drop a patch if you're gonna. But also, I looked at the history of the various Master Phases beforehand, and they're not necessarily day and date with patches and all that kind of stuff. They're sort of just in their own little vacuum. So that's sort of where we're at. Due to where the Capcom Pro Tour next season lies, and due to when it starts with EVO Japan, I just simply believe that the big patch that we're all waiting on is going to be earlier than we all thought. Definitely could be wrong. This is no guarantee of nothing. Maybe they do run EVO Japan on the regular balance that we currently know of right now, and then the big Season 3 update happens and then Combo Breaker runs on the next one. Who knows? I just don't think it's likely. Although I do think it's likely we're going to see a larger gap between the last Season 2 and first Season 3 character. Just once again, just because of Switch 2. Because I think they want to hit that as hard as possible, and you want to release that character kind of in line with the launch of the Switch. As close as you can anyways. Pure speculation on my behalf. But once again, they'd be absolute fools to not hit Switch 2 as hard as possible. All will be revealed on that front come Summer Game Fest, I suppose. The one thing, though, if this turns out to be correct, and I am right about this, right? If it does launch in, say, a very, very early May or later in April for Season 3, that really, really, really steps on the toes of the City of the Wolves release. And, you know, okay, we got this big Capcom SNK loving, but don't forget, man, like, fighting game companies, someone who deals with every fighting game, basically, right? I watch this happen all the time. They step on each other's toes all the times in terms of releases and all that, and it can be kind of frustrating at points. If you launch a new DLC character and have a new mega patch right as City of the Wolves is releasing, it sort of takes away from a little bit of its luster. I don't know. I'm just inventing scenarios in my head at this point, but I just hope the best for everyone, basically. That all said, though, my friends, that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter. Even though I'm ending with Fatal Fury, but you get the idea.